Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about planning our seed starts for 2025. I'm going to share everyone all these seeds that I am going to be starting and which ones I will most likely be direct sowing, and then I will also share with everyone everything else I am planning on ordering today after going through everything and planning what I'm going to still need. So let's get to it. Here are a couple things that I would recommend. First, I would recommend knowing what your garden is for. Are you doing it to get produce for you and or your family to eat throughout the year? Are you doing it as a hobby, or are you doing it as a way to make money? So once you determine that, next thing you're going to want to know is how much space you have and how much time you have. If you don't have a lot of time, let's say you're working a full-time job, or you just have a very busy life and you're only able to work like with your garden in maybe the weekends or the evenings, I would recommend not doing plants that require a lot of time when it is time to harvest. For example, peas and green beans I would not recommend because those take a very long time to harvest. The vegetables are smaller, so it takes a lot longer to harvest than, I would say, a tomato or some corn or a zucchini would. Now let's talk about your space. If you have a bigger space, then you are able to have more opportunities to grow multiple different varieties of produce. For us, we have a 120 feet by 45 feet garden, and so we have pretty decent space to grow things and be able to experiment with multiple different varieties of a product, or be able to use some of the things that we have to be able to sell at a market. Now, if you have more of a smaller scale garden, which is perfectly fine, you can still grow produce, but you might not be able to grow as much, and you got to make sure you don't overbuy your seeds because that would be a huge waste of money. And then finally, the thing that you're going to want to really consider is what fruits and vegetables or flowers you like to eat or have. If you are someone who does not like green beans or does not like having to go out there and spend 30 minutes to an hour picking a good harvest, then I would not recommend having green beans. So there's some things to consider before deciding on your seeds. And now we're going to get into the seeds that I have. You first want to look at seeds from your prior years that you have done. And if you haven't, and this is your first time gardening, then you get a full clean slate. But if you have gardened previous years and you have leftover seeds, I highly recommend looking through them and deciding if you want to get new ones this year or maybe save some money and use the ones from last year. Normally seeds are good for between 2 to 4 years, and it just depends on the brand of seeds. If you have some that are from more of a top seed provider like Johnny's Seeds or Harris Seeds, then those should probably last for a good 4 years. But if you have some that are from the store or the little packets from maybe a local nursery or something, then those probably would not last 4 years, maybe like 2. So let's get into the seeds. We are going to go through my vegetable seeds that I have, and so I'm going to dump them out and sort them real quick. Okay, I sorted them all out, and we're going to go through them and determine which ones I am going to be able to use this year and which ones I should probably throw out. So I'm going to start off with peppers. I have 2 different types of sweet bell peppers from Seedway, and these are leftovers from my father's farm. They grow acres of different vegetables, and so I got these extra ones, and I'm going to use both of these because they were just from last year. The next I have tomatoes, and I have 2 of these packets from Roma tomatoes that I got from a party last September, so these are probably still very good. And then I have multiple bags of different tomatoes from, again, Seedway from my father's farm, and these range from Roma to your normal summer tomato. So I am also going to be using all of those and starting on both the peppers and the tomatoes in plug trays. Next I have our zucchini. I have 3 different packages of zucchini. One is from 2021. One, I do not know where it's from. It does not have a date. And then this one is from that same party back in September. So I'm going to be starting these, and these I am going to be direct sowing into the ground. Next, we have summer squash, and only summer squash that I have are these 3 from that same party. So I will definitely be using these and direct seeding them also. I have cucumbers, and I have quite a few different packets of them. I'm going to start with these that I'm definitely using this year. 3 of the same packets from that same party. And I'm going to be splitting the cucumbers up. Half of them I'm going to be starting in the plug trays and see how that goes. And then half of them later in the season, I'm going to be direct seeding into the ground. These all are from 2021. So these I'm going to probably throw out because they probably are not going to do that well. And then I have 2 different other kinds of cucumbers. One is just a pickling and one is called Bristol. And these both are from 2024, so last year. I will probably use a mixture of both of those types. And then finally we have a stack of miscellaneous. So the first ones that I have are these mini eggplants. They are called pumpkin on a stick. And these are from 2022, but I really want to see how these go and see if they have a good germination rate and what they look like. So I am going to plant these in a pot and see how well they do. And then from last year, I have our okra, our lettuce, and our carrots. We definitely don't need any more carrots because there's a ton in here. And we might have to get more okra and lettuce. That is all of the vegetables. Let's move on to the herbs. This year with my herbs, I'm going to be separating 2 different types of herbs. One, the herbs that we use most in our kitchen, I'm going to be putting in our garden so we can get more of them and planting more in our garden. And then the ones that we normally don't use but we sometimes do, I'm going to be planting in pots near our house, just so some of them are separate and I don't take up too much space of the herbs in the garden. Okay, I'm going to start off with the herbs that I'm going to be planting in our garden. We have mint, basil, cilantro, and thyme. All of these have been used last year and I'm not going to get any more. The one thing that I am going to have to get is more parsley because we do not have any parsley, and oregano. And now moving on to the herbs that I'm going to be putting in the pots. We have 3 different packets of chives, spinach, sage, rosemary, and dill. And now I'm going to go on to the flowers. To start off, we have 2 butterfly and hummingbird wildflower mix that hopefully, if time allows, I will be planting a wildflower field that I will be able to have for people to come out and take any pictures that they want, like professional, family pictures, senior pictures. Next, I have the smaller sunflowers that I will be putting in both the mini and the large bouquets. We have an orange sunflower variety from Johnny's, and then we also have a branching sunflower and a plum color, so that is more of a red sunflower. And all of these are only like 24 inches and smaller. And then we also have some sunflowers called Irish Eyes, Dwarf Incredible, and Dwarf Sunspot. So those are all of the small sunflowers that I'll be using in the bouquets. And then the big sunflowers that I will just plant for show are Velvet Queen, Moonshine, Mammoth, and a regular sunflower. And then next we have zinnias, and I have 2 open packets of the Dreamland mix, 1 packet that is open called Benary's Giant Mix, and 2 packets of the Magellan mix. Then next I have 1 packet of a Snapdragon Rocket mix, 1 packet of Celosia mix, and 1 packet of Gomphrena mix, and all 3 of these packets are open. And then finally, the mixture of things. I have a packet of sweet peas, 2 packets of marigolds that I will be starting for pest control. Next, some cosmos. Next, dahlias from Johnny's. And finally, straw flowers from Johnny's. All of the flowers are going to be started in plug trays inside and then moved to the outside into the garden. And I'm also going to have to get more seeds of some of these, especially the zinnias and snapdragons. So I put together a list of everything that I have, and then I'm going to be able to look through all of this and determine what else I need to get from the online seed catalog to be able to have enough seeds to provide for our market and everyone in our town that comes to our markets, and also provide for our family. The seed catalog that I'm going to be using is Johnny's Seeds. I find very good germination rate from Johnny's, and their seeds produce beautiful fruit and flowers. It's the next day, and I used my list that we put together yesterday after going through all of our old seeds, and I went on to the Johnny Selected Seed website, and I went through all of the products and produce that they offer, and I put what I still need in my cart, and I'm going to go show y'all that. Okay, we are on the Johnny's website right now, and I went through everything and I added things that I need to add to my cart, and I'm going to go through this real quick, but I will give a haul of all the seeds when they do come. But quickly to go through this, we have more Celosia mix, some more sunflowers, and some more snapdragons. And then we have a new seed called Status Seed, and these flowers are very good for drying and for filler purposes. And then we have Amaranthus seed, which is also very good for fillers. And then we have a couple more different tomato types and peppers. And then we have some Cosmos and Baby's Breath, popcorn that I would like to try, and another cayenne pepper. And then I have straw flower mix and some snapdragon mix. And then I have 3 different types of Gompphrenas, actually 4. And then I have a Celosia mix seed, another different one, and 3 types of zinnias. Next thing I'm going to show you guys is this website called Seedtime, and it is a very helpful garden planning website, and it's very friendly users, so let's go look at that now. You will go into Google and type in app.seedtime.us, and you will create your own free account, and all you have to put in is your name and your zip code, because they will use that to determine your growing zone. This is what it looks like when you have multiple different vegetables and flowers in your calendar ready to go. And all of the blue boxes are your estimated frost dates that they get from your growing zone. So then we're going to come over here and look at this bar over here. And the first thing is the layout. And this comes only with the premium, so you can pay monthly or yearly.
You can easily map out your growing area with custom planting locations of literally any size and shape, from raised beds to containers to...
That's what it looks like, and in order to get that, you can do a $10 monthly plan or a $84 yearly plan. Next, we're going to go over to the bar and click on the tasks. And basically what the tasks tab does is once you go to the date that you would like, it will show you the different tasks that need to be done for that day or for that week. So I'm going to go to the middle of March because I know that's when I need to start seeding most of my flowers and peppers and tomatoes. So what you can do is once you're finished, let's say seeding snapdragons, then you can click it and it shows that you have done it. So this is just another helpful tool to make sure that you get all of your seeding and transplanting and harvesting done on time. Next, we're going to go to the journal tab. And this is helpful to write down any notes that you need. So on June 22nd, I wrote down my Cosmos notes to make sure that I only do half of the seeds the first time that I plant and then half of the seeds the next time. And now the classroom tab is a very helpful tool for anyone who is a beginner gardener, and it links multiple different videos to help if you are struggling. Next, we're going to go over to the community tab, and I have not started the community tab yet, but this, if you just click that link, then it will go to a Facebook group that you can go into. And then the store is the last tab, and basically it just has multiple different helpful tools that you could use for your garden. So now we're going to go back to our calendar, and I'm going to explain how you add things to it, and you can see how easy it is. So you're going to want to go up to the add crop, and then you're going to select your crop category. So I just typed in sunflowers because I have not put that in my calendar yet. And then the next thing you get to do is put in your variety. So the variety of sunflowers I'm putting in is Dwarf Sunspot. And then you can label it whatever you want. I'm labeling mine CF sunflowers because CF is short for cut flowers, because that's what I'm going to be using them for. And then you can color code it whatever color you like. And then you go down and you can change the direct seed to transplant if you'd like. I kept mine direct seed because that is what I do for all my sunflowers, but things like snapdragons, I will turn to transplant. And then the crop type I keep as what they have because it's determined by your growing zone. And then when we come down here to our schedule, we have bed preparation, direct seed, cultivating, and harvesting. So I keep all of them the same, but you can edit them. The different durations could be longer or shorter. I just keep mine what Seed Time recommends, which is a full week, which is actually helpful for me to make sure I get it all done. And then for the direct seed, you can come over here and edit it. You can change the duration as many to as little days as you like. And another thing that you can do is you can manually change the date that you start it. So let's say you have a crop that you always start on Mother's Day, so you can change that and go to whenever Mother's Day would be for this certain year and put that date in, and then it will change everything based on that date. But I keep mine relative to frost unless I am doing a succession planting. And then the rest I keep the same. And then cultivating, I normally delete just so my calendar is not as busy and I don't have too many things on it, because it can get very overwhelming. And then I keep the harvesting the same, and then you just click that and it will schedule your product into your calendar. So right here in the middle of May, I will need to direct seed my sunflowers into my garden. And it'll start the 16th, and I have that full week to do it. And then if you come down here, I will start harvesting my sunflowers into July till the middle of August. And now I know that I need to make sure that I have a succession planting of sunflowers so I can have enough until September or October. So again, this is just a very helpful tool to organize all of your produce and flowers to make sure that you give yourself enough time to plan and get them seeded and transplanted and harvested, so you aren't rushing to get everything done. Another thing that I really like about this is if you come up here, you can click on this and you can print your calendar out so you have it on paper if you are more of a pen and paper person. And now for the last tip. Okay, one last very helpful tool for planning your garden. If you are more of a visualized person on pen and paper, I would recommend getting a 2025 calendar. You can either use what the SeedTime website gave you as a rough guesstimate and put it onto your calendar. For one of mine, I need to start my snapdragons around March 14th. And I'm going to put in here, start snapdragons. So I wrote in here, start snapdragons on the 14th. And then I drew an arrow that goes all the way until the 16th. So I gave myself 3 days, so the full weekend, to start all my snapdragons. So on the SeedTime, they give you a week, which you can also change it on there, but I just, to make it easier, just kept it. So I, on my calendar, am making it kind of a smaller time, just so I make sure I have enough time to be able to do everything, because a lot of the things you need to start around the same time. So having the calendar that is a little more accurate on what days you need to start it is helpful. Another thing that I would recommend putting on your calendar is your last frost date estimate. And ours is estimated to be the 13th of April. And then what you could use that date for, to have that there, let's say you have a product that needs to be started in the plug trays inside with the grow lights, about maybe like 4 or 5 weeks before the last frost date. So what you can do, you can take that date and you can just go backwards the weeks. So you take, the 13th, and then go back 1, 2, 3, 4. And you would be around the 9th of May, when that's roughly where you need to start them. And that also like varies, but it's really good to have that rough estimate of when the last frost date would be. So those are 2 different things that you can use to plan your garden. If you're more of a visual pen and paper person, I highly recommend putting it on a calendar, a separate calendar from your daily calendar, just so you have one that is just for gardening. Or if you enjoy more of the online platform planning, then you can go onto SeedTime, create your own account, and use that for your planning. It is a very user-friendly website, and it also has an app that you can download on your phone. I hope this helps everyone. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, and Jesus loves you.